Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is Petey Proud. So, we'll be back today with another video. We've got a few things we're going to be talking about today. Mike Ashley's statement he came out with a few days ago. The new away kit that's out. The game on Saturday between Preston and Newcastle. Two new players have joined the academy the day. The Nsoki deal that's supposed to be happening. And of course, look who's back again.
How's it going, mate? You alright?
Aye, definitely, aye. So, what do you think about Mike Ashley's statements he came out with like the other day? It was impossible to keep Rafa. I could own this football club forever, and the way he's been dealt with a 600 odd million bill he's got to pay.
Well, in terms of your 6 million debt, ha ha fucking ha ha. Anyway, in terms of the Mike Ashley statement, well, I'm not surprised, if I'm honest with you. You could sense it that it was coming with the whole situation. Gordon, Rafa Benitez saying things about Mike Ashley saying things about Benitez. And I have to say, Mike Ashley, it wasn't impossible to keep Rafa Benitez. All you had to do was offer him some money, offer him the right deal in terms of his contract, let him get the players in that he wanted, and all he wanted to do was build the club up to the very top to see how far he could get it, which realistically for Newcastle United, if he's given the correct money, was to get us into the top 7. We're not saying we're going to get Champions League or anything like that. We want to have a little bit of ambition. Now, I'm not being funny, Ashley, but you've gone from, Rafa Benitez to Steve Bruce. Rafa Benitez to Steve fucking Bruce. Now, don't get us wrong, I'm going to accept Steve Bruce as the head coach because we'll have to, because he's the head coach and we've got no choice. But this is, for me, is a PR stunt because he's 600 million in debt. He wants the fans to go back. He knows that the season tickets haven't gone up as much as that they did last season. And are you surprised? Given that, we've just lost our best manager. We've sold Perez, or one of our better strikers, scoring double figures last season. He's bought Joe Linton for £40 million. Now, did he really spend £40 million on Joe Linton? Definitely not, because we've sold Perez for 30 million, sold Hoslu for £2.5 million. That's £32.5 million. And you would say, yep, well, there's another 7.5 sort of carried over, but he doesn't take into consideration where's the BT money, where's the Sky money, and where's everything else that we need to build the squad for next season, because that's not enough.
Well, and also another former Newcastle player pointed that out on his Twitter, and that was Michael Chopra, claiming that he's totally slagging off Rafa Benitez. Yeah.
Good for Michael Chopra, because at the end of the day, I think we all need to make a stand. And people talk about, well, we're going to boycott the game, we're going to boycott Arsenal. I've said it before, you've got to boycott every single home game. I understand fans that want to go back next season. You support the club, support the lads for the right reasons. But for me, I've seen enough. I mean, just shafting Rafa Benitez out the door like that and thinking, oh, yeah, let's just do something different. Let's just try and play the sympathy card and get the fans to go back next season. I'm sorry, but we've had this for so long now that enough is enough.
And also, his statement, I could own this football club forever. I think fans are kind of thinking, how many more years of this absolute fat prick we're going to be putting up with?
He's a fucking plank anyway, isn't he? I mean, he's been here 12 years, he's destroyed the club, 2 relegations, selling all our better players, selling all the assets, anything that belongs to Newcastle United, making us look like an absolute laughing stock. And he has to remember, if it wasn't for us passionate fans going to the games, home, away, Mike Ashley for me wouldn't be owner right now, because the reason he's making so much money is because of us, the fans, the TV money, etc, etc. And I just think it's an absolute joke the way this summer's been. And like as I've said before, signing one player for £40 million is not going to change my mind the way that things are going to run at this football club. And he says he wants to manage the club forever. Well, if he does, the way things are going at the minute, we'll most likely to go back to the Championship. And if we do go to the Championship, I will say it right now, we'll not be back for a long time, because the guy, he's all defined by greed. He's a greedy man. And he doesn't care about the club, he doesn't care about the fans, all he cares about himself.
And also, we always hear news about takeovers and that, but it just sounds like it's more PR stunts by him as well.
Well, because, the season had just ended, the summer was coming, there's nothing to talk about. Mike Ashley, wants the fans to be divided, he wants the fans to have some sort of hope, and there kind of was hope there a little bit. I was always sceptical, I said that on my YouTube video, but it's never going to happen, is it? He'll make up a price. For example, he'll say, right, we want 350 million for the club or 400 million for the football club. Someone will come in and offer that sort of money. Then what happens? Oh, actually, I want 500 million. So what does he want?
And he said, I think there was a statement sent out, he said he wanted to charge extra just to see it take eSports Direct advertisement down as well.
Oh, you can get fucked with his Sports Direct advertising. Honestly, it's a load of shit. And like I say, plastering that around the stadium as well. I mean, it looks stupid inside, you know what I mean? I'm just so glad that there's now on the outside. But, I mean, what's a lick of paint going to do? What's a few of this that and the other around, what's going to happen? You know what I mean? What's he trying to achieve? You know what I mean? A lick of paint.
So like fans are now not falling for his statements he's coming out with anymore. I think the fans are now waking up, smelling the coffee, as to say, nah, I think we're not stupid now to now fall for his stupid quotes he comes out with anymore.
Well, I don't know, because we're going to only find out against Arsenal for the TV game. If I see 50-odd thousand fans there, then it's not worked. No. But all you can do is try. As I've said it before there, you've got to boycott every single game, and you've got to make him realise what he's doing to this football club. And I know it's hard to keep away. For me, I've decided that, I'll go to away games. People will say, well, you're putting money in Mike Ashley's pocket. Not very much, if I'm honest with you, because it'll go to the away venue. As I've said before, I mean, what he's doing to this football club, he's killing it. And every season, there just seems to be more dross after the other.
Well, then we'll talk on some of the other stuff. We'll talk about next the Nsoki Deal, rumour to become from PSG left back. We've been in desperate need for a new left back.
We definitely need cover in that position. I mean, it's definitely a weak point within the squad. We have been linked with other left backs as well, such as Danny Rose, but Nsoki, again, I don't know too much about him, but he plays for PSG, so they're a respected club in France, and they've probably got a lot of good players in there. They're probably going through a bit of a transitional period because of Neymar, etc. But I think he could be something special if he signs. Was it 10 to 12 million? Decent.
20-year-old as well.
So he's got age on his side as well, which is good for the football club. That's sort of where we're buying at the minute. We don't like to buy, older players. So that for me would make sense.
It'll probably give a bit of competition for Doesnt, and hopefully I'll see Lazaro go out the door as well.
Goodness me, I mean, this guy's had a really poor pre-season. People can say what they want. I mean, he was poor against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Yes, he was decent against Preston, but he's a championship player at best. Maybe he's League One if I'm being nice.
I think the latest news we might have heard was that a deal could be close. So we'll have to see if something does get announced through the week as well. Yeah,
we'll have to wait and see, of course. I'm sure me, yourself and all Sky Sports and everyone will keep in touch with the fans and seeing what's going on in terms of that deal.
Yeah. Well then, another one will come up is the new away kit that's been released. It looks so much better than the home kit.
I absolutely love that kit. I mean, I'm going to put it up there with the black and gold kit from 2 seasons ago, especially with the necking as well. I like the design of it as well. I like the how they've done it. Fans will argue, that they could have done it for the whole kit, but you know what? It looks nice. I like how the white goes in with the colours as well. I mean, I do like green and black kits, but only if they get the design right, and I think they have done this time, and obviously how they've done it on the sleeves as well. I think that looks really, really nice, and white lettering on the back, as we've seen against Preston North End. Players look really nice in it, and I think it's definitely one of the better kits, and it's definitely better than the home kit.
Oh, with the home kit, they're thinking, what the hell have they done? Yeah.
No, but I have to say, in terms of the away kit, it's definitely a big fan favourite at the moment. I can see a lot of fans buying it over time, and I have to say the club have done well there.
Yeah, and so the next one we'll talk about was the friendly game of the weekend. That was away to Preston, but we lost 2-1. We started well at first in that game, and then second half, I think we just kind of switched off, and we give away 2 penalties.
Deary me. Preston North End. Preston. We lost against a bang average Preston North End team. Okay, so basically Joe Linton made his debut in the second half, so the team wasn't as strong in the first half, but the game was it was hard to get going at first. Hayden had the first opportunity, then the game kind of took on from there. Great free kick by Shelby. I don't know what the Preston goalkeeper was doing, kind of powered it into his own net, but we should have went on and kicked on from there, and we could have had that, in the second half. Joe Linton came on, he won the penalty for us. Of course, Miggy Almiron stepped up, missed. If only it was Joe Linton for his confidence. But at the end of the day, Miggy Almiron is probably designated to take that penalty. Now, it's about better man management from Steve Bruce. I mentioned this on Saturday. He's got to be a bit more mentally aware of what's going on around him, especially with the squad. It's new to him. And even though we weren't 1-0 up and we missed the penalty, we were huffing and puffing, and that gave Preston the confidence to go on and get a result, which they scored the 2 penalties. 2 poor pens to give away. And fair play to Preston, they won the game 2-1, but we should be doing better than that, really. We should be putting them to bed. I mean, and I don't want to draw a comparison to Rafa Benitez, but if that had been Rafa from 2 years ago when we had the friendly, Rafa would have got us to the draw, or we would have won that match.
I think you could question some of Steve Bruce's changes he brought on in the second half as well.
Well, he's definitely bringing out the excuses early. I mean, he made himself look like a right plum in the post-match press conference after the game, saying, Preston, they're 2 weeks ahead of us. He doesn't forget that we actually had a game last weekend, against West Ham. We had a game against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Why didn't you have a game on Wednesday, on the night time? I know the players didn't come back until the Monday, but give them the day off on the Tuesday and then have them training on, the Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, ready for a game. Even on Wednesday, even if it's behind closed doors, and then sort of bring the fitness up from there. I think Steve Bruce, and I can sense it this season, it's going to be excuse after excuse after excuse, and it's going to be like McLaren. I can sense it.
Next one we'll talk is the game tomorrow night between Newcastle, who are going away up to the capital of Scotland, Hibernian. Well, it's a game thinking what is going to happen tomorrow as well.
I don't want to have the same conversation that I had with the fans on Saturday night against Preston North End, because let's be real, Hibs are pretty shit, aren't they? I mean, they're in the Scottish League. It's not the best league in the world.
It's one of the worst, probably if not one of the worst, if not the worst league. And you're thinking, hopefully, if we get something tomorrow, hopefully it gives you a bit of a confidence boost for the Arsenal game and also the home game against St Etienne as well.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. I think Tuesday night we've got to go out and give a good performance, for 90 minutes, not just for 45 minutes or 46 minutes and then give up. I think Bruce hopefully has learned something from the Preston game. Going into the Hibs game on Tuesday, I'd like to give everyone a bit of a run out possibly, and Joe Linton, let him start from minute one and see what he does, and if he scores, think of what that does for his confidence going into the St Etienne game. So long journey tomorrow, but hopefully we should theoretically get a result.
Okay, then final thing, it looks like we've got now 2 new players that have joined the academy, Kyle Scott and was it Jake Turner, the goalkeeper?
Jake Turner, from Bolton. 2 lads used for the academy, I must stress, or under 23s. One coming in from Chelsea, that being Kyle Scott, and Turner from Bolton. Now, I don't know too much about the 2, if I'm honest with you, but again, they're ones for the future. Kyle Scott looks decent. I've heard from his time at Chelsea, of course. I mean, you're not going to make the Chelsea team. They've got far too many good players. And, of course, they've gone through a bit of a transfer embargo. So the players that they had out on loan originally last season, they're bringing them back in for next season. You can see Kennedy, who was at Newcastle last season. You see him scoring for Chelsea. But in terms of the lad, I wish him all the very best. And hopefully he tries to break into the first team eventually. It'd be nice for the future for him to get into the first team. And in terms of the goalkeeper, now, what does that say for Carl Darlow and Rob Elliott? Does that mean that Carl Darlow's out the door? I've said that in my predictions video that I think he'll leave the club to go to a championship club. Elliott, should he retire now and find a coaching job somewhere in Newcastle? I think that could be the best option for him. What does it say for Freddie Woodman? These are questions I want to give back to you.
Aye, well, it is going to be interesting what happens in the probably next upcoming days. Oh, well, then there you go. That is the video done. Let me know in the comment section what you think, and hopefully we'll get some more positive news on transfers. Hopefully we'll get the Stanley Nsoki deal done, and also hopefully there'll be more news on the Alan C maximum deal as well. Hopefully that will be close as well. So I said, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and if you're also new and haven't checked me out, please make sure you do hit the subscribe button, and of course check Sharkey's channel as well out at 100% NUFC on YouTube, and I will catch you all later. Have a great week.
Over the lads.